First of all, what has caused the tension? The thing that has caused the tension is the delay in declaring the winner of the April 11th election winner. All of you were here when that election was held. In fact, honestly, I do not know how much of your flags I'm going to draw by the comments I'm going to make here, but that is how I feel. You people owe it a duty to Ndabia to make sure that Abia is projected in positive light. It is an indictment on the family of the fourth rim in Abia that the Lagos press puts Abia as the devil's workshop. Because perception is everything. And you pressmen can build desert in Bayelsa, or build Atlantic Ocean in Sahara, and people in the village will say it is true. Especially in this new era of I wish I was a teacher of journalism. People have to do something about social media. They go and bring pictures and put things together, and you see a river flowing in Sahara, and the thing is and the river will be whistling as it goes. So you have allowed Nigerians to build a perception, an ugly perception about where you operate, and so people become apprehensive. This state must need or must require or get enough dose of free orientation. People should begin to see Abia the way it is, rather than the way that other people want us to see them. In Nigeria, you were around when this election, and you saw what happened everywhere. In some places, as the elections were going on, motorcycles, vehicles, people were. In fact, I lost a cousin, a chief superintendent of police, was macheted until he died in Oyo. They've not buried him yet, and yet they've announced results, all of them in the southwest. You knew that no violence of that proportion and magnitude has to delay the announcement of our election happened in Abia. You knew. The DIG was shocked that people are saying things, and he's here. He went everywhere. Some of you came to my house in Obingwa, and you saw that there was no catastrophe anywhere. There was no pandemonium anywhere. It was a case of a candidate who chose his running mate from the same federal constituency and ignored the entire Abia Central and Abia South, and has no House of Assembly candidate in Obingwa. Who will monitor his election there? He abandoned the place. And I come from there. My wife is from there. My mother's maternal home is there. My father's maternal home is there. What did he expect? He doesn't have strategies to look. And then the trend from 1999. Our people have been heavy voters. That is why consistently we produce deputy governors, because people are looking for that vote, and he didn't think about it. And yet we allow Nigeria to run with the fact that there was problem. The ladies, oh no, what kind of thing is that? That is what has caused this seeming tension in the air. And these Okwangwa people, 9 local governments, it's a block vote. They've not been governor before since the creation of this world. There's no former Okwangwa governor, both in heaven and in hell now, as I speak. If you open the door of those 2 departments, you will see. You will see. So, but I want to say also that the peace and stability that we have enjoyed in Abia, 70% of the credit goes to the Okwangwa people. We are wonderful hosts. Cities don't grow from nowhere. If you have an unfriendly environment, nobody will come there to establish business. Our people are so hospitable to the point that we, quote unquote, we almost becoming timid. If I have a child, and I won't want my child to raise my child in such a way that he can't stretch his hand to shake somebody. I had a chat with my colleague Chiku Densi 2 days ago, and we were sitting on the table, and he told me that, do I know how the daughter and we're discussing this xenophobic thing in South Africa. He asked me, do you know how my daughter got admission into one of the best schools in South Africa? I said, no. He said, a 9-year-old girl, or 8-year-old girl, went to school first day, and they were sitting in a lobby preparing for interview. The school authorities had arrangement to interview all the pupils. That is daughter walked straight to the head teacher, stretched forth her hands, introduced herself, and asked the head teacher, what is your name? That the head teacher now said, no, this one will not undergo any interview again. She has passed. That's how she. So if you raise timid people, it's not good for their psychological balance. So our people there is no government that we have not served. We have voted en masse, supported, served. They kept changing the formula. But we believe that social justice is the only plank that can sustain both security and economic development side by side. Anything that anybody is doing without social justice you are riding the tiger. One day you end up inside the stomach. That is part of the problem in the Niger Delta. That is part of the problem in the Northeast. And when we do diagnosis of these problems, yet we go and start pressing that button again. That is the kind of tension that, by the way, I've not even seen anybody within our press family in Abia report that my rec is the anti of my opponent. That is like copying something and going into exam. Because if you copy something and go into the exam and take advantage, if you score 9 over 10 and your friend beside you scored 8, if you are rejoicing and popping champagne, know also that that man who had 8 out of self-effort is better than you. Whether you go with 9 over 10 and the other man with 8, it doesn't matter what your conscience will tell you. And I said this somewhere in Lagos that honestly, sincerely speaking, OKEZIE IKPEAZU will not run election against somebody with my auntie as rec. I will tell them, please don't do this. Instead, let me go and bring that 300 million and give it to somebody else. How can somebody morally allow himself to run and sit and run an election with your auntie and your opponent doesn't know? And he came to everything until you now want to cancel the local government of that your opponent and uphold their own. Why won't there be tension, my brother? We have, let me return to part B of your question. I thank God also for the presence of mind and the kind of spirit which He has given to some of our leaders, including myself, because I see slightly beyond what the ordinary person will see. Because I've been around Abia, and one day I entered Keke Napep in Aba, trying to disguise during the kidnapping era. The small boys there at Topo Junction say, Doc. So I knew that there was no hiding place. Now, because I know what caused it, because I know that the gunpowder, somebody said that what is happening is like lighting a matchstick to check how much fuel you have in your tank. You can imagine, you light a matchstick, use it, you want to use it and see whether you have enough fuel, petrol. So the gunpowder is there, the matches is there, and we are pushing the matches towards the gunpowder, threatening to light cigarettes there. See, this thing, those boys that caused that trouble, they did not all die or move away. So if my opponent goes to Aguleri to go and bring tongues, and then they will use knife and be harassing women at Isialangwa South, all kinds of things, he is daring me to say, go to Abala and bring your own youth. But I know that if I am youth to do political talking, that I will not, experience has taught me that you can't disarm them. If they go, and then after the operation, whether anything happened or not, you say, please. In fact, they won't return to your house. They will go with the ammunition and arm and keep it. Then if there's another one in the evening, they will assemble. You arm again. And you can't ask them, where is the former one? They said, I have very. So by the time you know it, you will have proliferation of small arms everywhere. So I have carefully resisted it because I know that, unfortunately for me, this is where I work, Abia. This is where I play, Abia. I don't have any other place. Some people have option. They can go to London now. Once it starts, they will fly away. They have 2 houses, 5 houses in every place in the world. Their children will not see this place. They don't have any emotional attachment. In fact, they don't even have friends here. They can hold their meetings at their conferences mid-air in a private jet from here to Australia. For me, we will all meet at Latinos. We are here. We are here. We are not going anywhere. These are my friends. So if there is violence somewhere, I begin to picture the faces of my friends that reside in that neighborhood. And I will identify 1 or 2 or 3, or their families, or their friends. This is why it is difficult for me to pack equivalent punch in that direction. So, assuming we had people that know that social ills, if social problems are intractable, like prostitution, you can build a flyover from here to Aba. But for you to stop prostitution here is a big problem. If a prostitute wants to be prostitute, she can go and wear cassock, wear something. You cannot do anything because it's a crime of the mind. So when they create this, prepare this evil soup, they don't know who will lick it at the end of the day. Well, the third part of your question is, what do I think we should do? One, I'm going to run strongly on social engineering. We need to do a reorientation of our psyche. There seems to be a dislocation between the head of the train and the coach. So the gap between the leadership and the led, there is need for us to come down, remove our barbariga, wear the kind of dress that the average and ordinary person will wear. If there's a road construction, go to the street, stand on the road, engage the people, drink the same pure water, whatever with them, and tell them why you are doing that road. For every project we are going to do in Abia after May the 29th, we will do a thorough socio-political analysis and impact. We must identify which souls are we touching, what part of the economy are we pursuing. There has to be a linkage between the road we do and the industry that is coming, between the industry that is coming and the health facility that will be associated, so that you can have an integrated development where everybody will play. Nobody can do everything, but it is good for everybody to be part of the party until when the curtain runs, everybody will know, oh, here goes. This is where how far the Lord has led us. Thank you very much.
Just the last question. Your Excellency.
I have noticed that the rigors of the engineering campaign are not reflected
On my side.
I want to ask.
Tell you, try to hazard a few what to conjecture as maybe probable reasons. I thank God for the grace of good health. But I want to say that from beginning, I knew that God was taking me somewhere for a purpose. We came this close that day, and a friend of mine brought champagne that he was going to empty the bottle on my head. I told him I did not have any other cloth. Yeah. Don't attempt to do it. But I was very calm. I was very calm because that was going to be the beginning of the real work. I was very sober. The job ahead is huge. But I thank God because He has alerted me. I don't bother myself about what other people think about. This project is on the wings of God Almighty, and it is safe there. Because God cannot bring me this far, pick me up from the dustbin of Aba where I was doing domestic waste management, only to come and drop me here. No, he cannot. He just cannot. For what then he would have invested so much. Is he going to lose his investment? God can't lose his investment. You know, he has invested so much, and I know how many battles I have survived in the course of this journey. Some of them seen, a lot of them unseen. Some of the ones that are not seen are more remarkable and dramatic than the ones. And I know something from my church about faith. The only thing that buoys up faith, that sustains and stands faith, is knowledge of how God has led you in the past. They call it experiential knowledge, from experience. So, if little boy David did not remember how he dealt with the lion in the bush, he wouldn't have had the courage to deal with Goliath. So I have dealt with many Goliaths that I don't even see the ones ahead. That is why, but I get bothered at times when I see the things that people do. I get bothered when I hear lies. When some of our friends and opponents will exhibit crass desperation and tell lies, and I get bothered. I get bothered. At times I say, because sincerely speaking, there are things that I will not do in order to become governor. I've had to cry once, and that happened about 48 hours ago, when they started flip-flopping. A fool called me on phone and said that I should come somewhere. He will help me and do one sacrifice, and then they will. I asked God, so you are here and somebody is asking you, a child, this kind of thing. I got very angry with God. I said, God, you have to be very careful. If you don't do something that you allow people to hand up like this and come and tell me, somebody who ordinarily, what is it? Assuming they knew that I'm not desperate about being governor. I tell you, my friends, I am only confident in the victory that is going to come after our hard work in future. Because I have you people. All of us are going to the field to work. You know, and so it is God's project. I'm not bothered about it. God has to deliver it whichever way He will do it. He will find destiny helpers to deliver it. I'm not bothered. You know, so and now that I've gotten to this point, this is a point of no return. In biochemistry, we call it committed step of a reaction. Once you go beyond the committed step, that reaction becomes irreversible. So it's completely irreversible. To require Armageddon to stop us.